Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of The Real Dirt. On today's Dirt, we have Nspecta from CSI Humboldt. You know, I've known Nspecta for a long time, and he's one of the great seed breeders out there in the U.S. He's been underground seed breeding, doing genetic research for all his life, really. He's an old school Humboldt grower. He was taught by old school Humboldt growers that were taught by old school Humboldt growers. And he always brings a different perspective to the conversation. In modern cannabis, in today's legal world, it's a completely different entrepreneur. It's a completely different mindset that people have in the new modern industry. And Caleb's an old timer. Even though he's a young guy, he started at a young age from learning from his parents and his uncles and his grandfathers. And he's an old soul at heart for sure. And he brings a slightly different perspective to it all that I always enjoy. And I think you'll enjoy it too. You know, there's a lot going on with genetics and cannabis. And almost anybody these days can consider themselves a breeder. And, you know, I think anyone can make seeds. I've made seeds randomly, and I've made seeds with, you know, a genetic development program in mind. And I've used math and science, and I've watched plant observations. And then there's also times when you're just like, oh, I got a male, I'm going to cross it with all these plants and see what happens. Right. And like sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But you know, in the past, you would have to make your seeds. You would have to save seeds from year to the next. If ever any great cannabis came across your palate, you would always save the seeds. You'd plant the seeds next year. And then maybe if it was something good and you had good seeds from the previous years and you had like your strain maybe you were working on, then you'd cross those seeds back to, you know, your new source seeds. So throughout the year, you were always like looking for seeds, looking for weed. Always brought up these great conversations. You know, you'd meet somebody and you're like, oh man, this is great weed, man. You got any seeds? Right. And they're like, oh yeah, I got some seeds. You got any seeds? And it began this whole like trading group of seeds. And, you know, that's actually how I met Caleb is, through some old websites. And, you know, some of these websites were the 77, Cannabis World, Overgrow, you know, the early Canna Cabana. These were all, you know, seed trading and seed selling sites. Some of those early sites were involved in a huge seed selling operation. I think that was called Seed Bay. And maybe 15 years ago or something, there was a huge interdiction over all of that, and that went out of business. And you know, other websites were started. But I guess my point here is all this information got traded on the plant structure and growth pattern, and how, you know, the males did when you crossed them out with other females, and how females did when you crossed them out with other males. And you need to get conversations like, oh, you know, this is a blank male, the blank male. You don't really see any of its genetics except the vigor when you cross it into any female clone. And that was what we were always looking for back there, a blank male, or we were trying to make as a blank male. And, you know, we're talking 1990, 1995, 1996. Like, you know, it's been a while. But this type of conversation still happens today among some people. But now you can trade clones. Now you have feminized seeds. And there's just this desire among people to create, and among men specifically to create. And it's a biological like desire that we have, you know, that goes back to like repopulation and spreading our own genes. And some of us feel so strongly about cannabis that we want to spread the cannabis genes. So we make seeds, or we try to select clones, or pheno hunt is a popular pastime right now. And that's what all this is about. This is about like adding new cannabis, creating new nuances, bringing out new terpenes or stronger variations of terpenes or different combinations of growth patterns. That's what people are really looking for inside their heart, of their grower's heart, their breeder's heart. There's also the greed, though. Let's talk about the greed, right? You talk to people and they're like, oh, I get fucking $10 a goddamn seed in this bud. I made $3,000 from this bud. And that's just greed, man. And then there's nothing wrong with getting paid. I'm not saying that, I mean, if you go look at Archive or DNA or Fletcher seeds at Archive, they're all expensive. It's all $10, $12. I mean, I've seen some $20 seeds, and I really don't see anything wrong with that, right? Because, man, DNA, CSI, Rude Boy, Loud Pack, numerous others, they've done actual work to get to where they are. And, that's worth something, right? And I guess it's also worth something if you're just a plant fucker and you're just making seeds to make seeds because you know how to feminize seeds. And that's mostly the thing people do, is they just feminize seeds, right? And I personally don't see the value in just randomly making seeds with cannabis, right? If you want to be a seed breeder and you don't know anything about seeds or pollination, or you know a little bit about it, man, look up some books on like line breeding and books on breeding grasses and whatnot, just to get an understanding of how it works, right? And how people have done it for years and years and years, and look up some simple like breeding techniques, that people have used to standardize males or standardize females or standardize growth patterns. Educate yourself on what F1 and P1 and S1 all mean, right? Like, do some background research. Don't just be an asshole and make a bunch of shitty feminized seeds and then go sell them to some people who trust that you know what you're doing. You know who you are. I'm talking to you right now. There's more than one of you out there. You might even feel a little uncomfortable right now with this. Right? But you're fucking people's lives up when you give them or sell them seeds, when you sell them seeds specifically, that you don't know what the outcome is and you haven't verified how stable they are against hermaphroditism or actually production, right? Like, you're totally fucking with people's lives. And you really need to take it as seriously as possible, that it's not just $10 a seed. That's not what's going on here. People are taking those $10 seeds and planting them out to make mothers and to just grow cannabis, many times for medicinal use. And it all has an economy on it, right? They are counting on you, the seed maker, that you have at least done something to guarantee that the seeds they get are going to be a viable, sellable product, right? And that is your responsibility. Man, if you're saying, fuck you, Chip, I'm just here to make money. Hey, man, I actually totally appreciate that, right? One, that you're speaking, real to me behind your radio, your earbuds. But two, that, you are a business person and you are out to make money. And you also know, though, if you have that attitude, that you have to have repeat customers and you want people to talk well about your product, right? And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about responsibility and ethics in business. This is something we all develop. When I started out my initial businesses when I was a kid, I didn't have that. I didn't have even an understanding of ethics, right? And, it goes both ways, really. You'll get taken advantage of by your customer, and you'll take advantage of your customer, whether you do it intentionally or not. So if you're interested in breeding, if you're interested in propagating the cannabis species, if you're interested in building something new inside cannabis, then, man, listen to this episode and enjoy it. And if you just want to make fun of me and Caleb, listen to this episode and enjoy it. But, Caleb's done a lot of work, man. He's actually put it together. He looks at plants. He's a feminizer of plants. He also has a regular seed company, and that's called Pirates of the Emerald Triangle. He's done the work. He sees this plant structure. He sees the growth structure of the plants. He's done it, man. And that's what makes his products really, really good. Man, I really love that Old Family Purple, and even though I don't like the name so much, but man, every place I see people planting that indoors and outdoors, that is an incredible, great plant. You know, the Obama Kush, wow, man, that's also great cannabis, right? And he's got numerous others. But I want you to sit back, roll up the fat joint of the best weed you got, and enjoy this episode of The Real Dirt that we recorded at our Humboldt studios, the Molecule Studios in Trinidad, California. On this episode, we're actually sitting out overlooking the pond and watching the sunset to some degree, and you'll hear the dogs and the other wildlife in the background. So sit back and enjoy a little piece of Humboldt with me and Caleb. And if you like this episode and others, download it on therealdirt.com or go to iTunes and download The Real Dirt Podcast with Chip Baker. Thanks again for joining me, and fire it up. My friends, today on The Real Dirt, we have my good friend and longtime ganja growing mentor, Caleb Nspecta of CSI Humboldt. How's it going, Caleb?
It's going good, Chip.
All right. Many people know you as Nspecta on Instagram and on some websites. That's how we initially met, even though you live in Humboldt and I lived in Humboldt for a while. We met through a weird website back in 2000 and something. That was called, what was that called?
Overgrow?
Overgrow? That's right. That's right. Overgrow.
Or a little bit of Cannabis World.
A little bit of Cannabis World. Mm-hmm. Right. Totally. So that was many moons ago. Way back then, Caleb had Urkel crosses. That was one of the first popular clones that people were really coveting and trading, and one of the first names of cannabises that people knew was Perps and Urkel.
In the early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Mm-hmm. Right. Many people wanted to have it at that time, and Nspecta, he always had it. Man, way back then, were you breeding seeds yet? Were you making seeds?
A little bit, yeah.
Totally.
In 2002, I made my Urkel S1s, my Trainwreck Urkels, Snow Times Urkel, a couple others.
All right, yeah, plenty of that purple Trainwreck out there, that's for sure. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm still doing the same thing.
No, you're still doing the same thing. So, Nspecta, you're a seed breeder from Humboldt County. You've been here your whole life. You're several generations Humboldtian. Here's to you. There's not too many of you guys out there.
Highly inbred.
Yeah. Yeah, just like the weed.
Yep.
Just like the weed. And man, you've been breeding seeds and selling seeds for, I guess, pretty much as long as I've known you. You were one of the first people to sell Feminized genetics. It all kind of popped out at the once, but you were one of the first people. I remember I poo-pooed the whole deal for a long time. Right.
Many do.
Totally. Well, there's just this beauty of the male and the female plant.
But there is a beauty of the female and the female plant as well.
Yeah, no, you're right about that for sure. And I mean, I get it, dude. I get it, right? You know, at the time, though, it was a different world, and it's a totally different world. It was a totally different world. You could go plant out as many seeds of whatever you wanted and pull the males and play with all the seeds and then chop it all up, put it in one same bag, and people liked it all the same. Mm-hmm. Right. It didn't matter if it was 3 different phenos or really like 2 different even crosses, as long as they kind of looked and smelled similar. Back then, that was totally fine.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of the seed planting heyday until recently. Right.
Yeah. Now everybody's trying to find that next new. So there's a lot of people still planting seeds, but it's tough to get rid of something that's not already new.
Man, how big do you think it is? How many people you think plant seeds over clones?
Not too many. I mean, there's different sorts.
Who's a person who goes to an online site and buys seeds? What type of person is that?
Somebody who either doesn't have access in, their locale to quality genetics, or somebody who's looking for something different than what everybody else has.
So would you characterize those people as like new growers or like big growers or commercial growers or home growers?
There's really all different types. I mean, I've done business with and talked with, big, huge commercial places, all the way down to, the small people just trying to grow their 4 or 6 plants, legally
Totally.
in their backyards.
Totally. Is that what you guys sell, a 6-pack? Do you sell 6 seeds?
My feminized seeds are 7 seeds per
7
pack.
seeds per pack.
And regular seeds are 11.
Right. So it's 2 different companies, though. It's CSI Humboldt for the feminized seeds, and Pirates, the Emerald Triangle, for the traditional. How do you call it? What do you call it? Male and female seeds. What do you call it?
Just regular.
Regular.
I wish there was a fancier name for
There
it.
needs to be a fan. Let's actually work out one right now.
Uh-oh.
I think it should be. I like traditional. Right. It sounds a little bit better than regular, don't you think?
A little bit.
But not. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to keep thinking about it as I'm going to pop one out for you, and you can use it for free of charge.
Oh,
as always.
thank you, Chip.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, you sell how many in the traditional seeds, the regular seeds?
11 seeds.
There's
per pack.
11 seeds.
Yeah.
So people plant out 11 seeds, and they get like 40-50% females.
Usually 50-50.
Okay,
Yeah.
50-50. Right.
Generally.
Right, 50-50.
Yeah.
So they get 5.5 plants that are seeds that are female.
Yep.
Right, I get it. Odds over time, of course.
Right.
But with the female seeds, you get 7 seeds in a pack, and you get all of those plants come out as female.
Yep.
Right. And that's why you started this business, and that's why you do so well at it. It's because that's what people want. They just want female plants.
Some want their females. Some definitely want their traditional seeds.
Because, when we all started, it was all about like having a male to keep like seeds going for later. Right. Mostly it was outdoor.
Right.
Few people like yourself knew about indoor or raised with it in some way. But you always had to save your seeds to the next season.
Right. Well,
right.
I think that boils down to most people really didn't even know how to make feminized seeds back in those days.
Man, I remember reading about it in like an Ask Ed book or something. Dude, when was the first time you heard about it?
Oh, I never asked Ed anything. I'm sorry.
No.
But Hybe. Remember Hybe from Cannabis World?
I do remember Hybe.
Elite times Elite?
Yeah.
He was one of the very first guys who released a product that you could spray on your female plant, turn her into male, and make feminized seeds. And then this fellow named Countryman.
Oh yeah, totally. I remember all these guys. Old schools.
He outed a recipe for feminized seeds, and then it really started taking off. And that was about, 2002, somewhere around there?
I mean, European companies, they started right around then too. Right? Let's see, who was the first European company?
Dutch Passion was big on the feminized seeds early, weren't they?
They were early on it. Right. And, I know DNA, they went into it. They said after they did that, it was like no comparison. No looking back. So, hey, Pirates of the Emerald Triangle, that's newish company.
It's newer. It's been around almost as long as CSI.
Almost as long, though. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have a ratio of seeds that you produce, feminized versus traditional versus?
It's right now. It's pretty equal. I have a few more feminized right now, just because I started the company about a year earlier. Ideally, I do have a lot more projects that I've put together already. I just haven't tested them with the regular seeds. So it's way easier to test feminized seeds because you don't have to sort out all the males.
Yeah, no shit. What kind of analytics are you doing? Old school analytics?
No, I get a lot of stuff tested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. You intertwine it though, and you look at the plans.
Oh yeah.
You pick out the ones you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there's something about that, man. You see it, you know it. Like people don't necessarily see plants the same way you do.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's true.
And I'm a plant guy. right? I love all types of plants, right? Whether it's, these ferns or these agaves in my yard here, these other crazy rhododendrons or, right, that ginkgo tree. I'm not quite sure where to put that. But we see plants grow differently than other people. Right. I tell people all the time when I suggest to go to HumboldtCSI.com that you love the plants, you know the plants, you watch them, you pick the right ones. It's not just strictly, hey, I'm going to make this cross of Girl Scout cookies and Urkel. Right. And make a cross and then put it in the seed packet and then sell it.
Well, there is a little bit of that.
Yeah, totally. Well, there is a little bit of that, but tell me how you do it, man. How do you pick out the plants that you want to breed with? Well,
for me, I rarely select on height or yield. A lot of traditional things that were selected for, like in Amsterdam. I think most of the selections I do tend to be based on terpenes and smokability.
Fire it up, brah.
But that's once everything's, made it past, each round of criteria.
How big do the plants have to be before you start, picking out, special ones?
Oftentimes I've tried I like picking out ones that are, in veg, a month or two in. I'll pick out favorites. A lot of the time, those won't be the winners at the end of the day.
Yeah, right.
I had this one Cali OS1, smelled just like strong pineapples. But by the time it was finished flowering, it didn't smell or taste like anything special.
I've seen that happen a bunch, that's for sure.
Right.
It's a bummer, man. I mean, it's not a bummer. It's the gamble of it. That's really what I mean. And it's the excitement of it. And sometimes you get a big one, man, and sometimes you don't.
Oh, you mean like do-seed dope?
Totally. That's a good one. That's a good example of it, right? Totally. But man, that purple train wreck that we have over in Colorado that's, predominant cutting over there. Man, I saw that whole thing go down, and those guys planted hundreds of seeds and nothing happened, and then somebody just planted 10 random seeds and found the one. Right, and...
Just like Obama Kush in Portland. My buddy, grabs up a big old oven bag full of trim and seeds from, floor seeds from a run I did in 2006 where I took Bubba and pollinated everything. And he, had a couple thousand seeds he sorted through, and he picked out his, 20 favorite seeds out of those 2,000 and sprouted them. And his favorite was Obama Kush, and luckily I could tell my plants apart. So I was like, yeah, that's just Mendo Purple, crossed to the Bubba Kush. So,
totally.
And that thing's
great cross.
That thing's huge up in Oregon and Washington and all that.
Obama Kush, I see it for sure, man.
My kid brother, he's actually a licensed Trinity County farm.
Oh, congratulations! Excellent.
He has 10,000 square feet of legal Obama Kush that's going to be hitting the market this fall.
Wow. What year, when did Obama get elected the first time?
I think it was 08.
08.
Yeah.
08. Back to 08, Obama Kush.
Yeah, I made those.
08 in 2018.
I made those seeds in 06, and then my buddy sprouted the seed in 07.
Right.
And then he got elected because,
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Of course. Oh, man, the good old days. So, man, that's something we were talking about earlier, is how strains become hot. And, I tell people stuff all the time, this type of phrase. If you got the best weed, if you got the best ganja, no matter where you are, you're going to sell it. People are going to come and pay you the market value for you, for that. But how does that happen? How do you get that hot, great shit?
Right. Well, for example, in the Obama Kush scenario, my buddy held it real tight, and he also would sell it to, select people for $500 a cut back in 08, 09.
Oh, awesome. Bless his heart.
Yeah, he's a generous soul. He could have sold it for way more.
$1,000.
Right? Shoot. But, when you price something high like that, it generates hype.
So exclusivity in the marketplace.
So okay. A lot of times it does start with exclusivity.
Okay.
And then that makes people want it.
Totally.
And then when it does, reach the masses, that's when it really blows up.
Exclusivity, perceived high value, perceived rarity.
Right.
Right. Right. So, man, but that's just almost natural home run type of thing.
Well, think about how many seeds have you sprouted? How many seeds have I sprouted? Both of us, we've probably sprouted thousands of seeds. How many cuts have we actually saved that are in mass circulation right now? I mean, I'm sure there's been quite a few that are just as high quality as, the most popular ones in the industry. I remember some stuff from you back in, 2005? And that stuff was, it was blueberry, cosmic, something.
Oh, right.
It was like menthol.
OG. Yeah.
I don't even know
if train wreck.
It had like menthol. It smelled like menthol blueberries.
Yeah, dude, but of course, it wasn't good enough at the time, so we let that shit roll.
It would have been a hit these days, I swear. It tasted good, too.
It would have been, man. One I really miss from back then is the Durban Thai High Flyer cross with Santa Marta. Santa Marta cross the Durban Thai High Flyer.
Our good buddy Kanza is actually doing a nice Durban Thai High Flyer project right now.
Oh, awesome.
Well, awesome. I sprout the seeds for him, and then he takes them over.
Right. Okay. Yeah, well, that's best for you. Wow.
Yeah. But
so is that your favorite part of weed, sprouting seeds?
Oh, I love sprouting seeds.
No, yeah, I love it too, man.
Yeah.
I love it too, man. The hemp industry is blowing out right now, and it's so many seeds. I see so many people planting seeds that have never planted seeds before, right? And you can just see they just immediately become seed people,
right?
It's like no clone seeds, no clone seeds.
Yep.
Right. It's cool to see, man. It's cool. Are you seeing people planting a bunch of like big lots?
There's quite a few.
What's a big lot?
A normal big lot is probably about 100, but there's definitely people that plant a couple hundred, few hundred, up to 500 seeds of one thing.
Right. So back to this, how does it get hot? So they're planting 500 seeds, trying to pull the best. Right. Can you pick out a strain? Besides, let's pick out a handful of strains. We already said Obama Kush.
Right. Selected from maybe 20 seeds sprouted.
Right. But just totally random, though. Right. Man, I mean, honestly, like diesel. Right. Same type of thing. Just a few seeds planted. Right. I mean, if we're going to say that, OG, Bubba, all the famous
Chem
shit.
Dog.
They just Chem Dog. There's just a couple seeds got planted out and became like this incredible weed.
Right.
But we're talking about like these big lots of people. Why aren't we seeing like more like incredible weed?
It's way harder to select from 100 than it is from 10.
Dude, totally. No doubt. And man, I remember years ago, I was complaining about like being restricted to only planting out a few seeds at a time. And you're like, dude, you just plant 100. And you sex those, and you plant another 100. And you sex those, and you plant another 100. And I was like, oh yeah, totally. That's how it can work, right? And there end up being one on top of each other, but after like 10 months, you've planted out 500 or 600 seeds.
Right.
And it's way easier to see.
Oh, yeah.
100 at a time.
I'll give you a good example. So I just harvested a room yesterday. There was 200 seed plants in there. So step one, I went through those first, those 200 and wrote down every single one I think is a keeper right now. So I'm going to get all those tested. There's probably 20 or 30 maybe. Then I'm also going to test them the old-fashioned way.
Right.
Smoke them.
Yeah. Fire them on.
Right. And then I'll definitely narrow it down from there. But, it's the best way you can do, when you're growing out a lot.
Yeah. I hear people talking about like modern breeding techniques using statistical analysis or using, genomic mapping. Have you investigated any of these futuristic damn Frankenstein seed making stuffs?
Oh. Are you talking about just going through like Phylos and mapping things out?
I mean, I guess that is, one resource, phylosgalaxy.com.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I've entered, some of my old heirlooms into their galaxy.
How'd that come out? I see you were like,
It's interesting. Like, for example, ChemDog 91, right? Pretty much most folks know I have the original ChemDog 91. Well, up until I submitted it, really nobody had even submitted a real legit ChemDog 91. There were a few of them on there at the time, but I was the first one that actually got published in the galaxy.
Okay.
First in the galaxy. But Specta. And it's related to, all kinds of, the ChemDogs, this is and that's, the sour diesels, everything. But then with the Triangle Kush from Florida, entered that thing into the galaxy, and according to, Phylos, it's the same exact cut as 50 different OG Kush cuts that have been submitted. We're actually working on a project right now where we've got a ton of these S1 ChemDogs, and they're going to run some of the S1s and see where they fall. I think some S1s might just test the same as their parent.
50% of them?
Who knows, right? But I don't know what that spread is, so I really want to see a Triangle Kush S1, and I think I actually reversed it this time.
Is it hard to reverse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tons of people have tried. I've tried twice and failed. This time I've got tons of pollen, and I actually tried 3 different sprays, and my own, another good buddy, and Hybes.
Oh, you tried 3 different types of sprays.
Yeah.
Okay.
To reverse them.
Right. Now you got to use my mix. Oh, I got that cut. No, I'm just making fun.
You got a mix too?
No, I'm just making fun.
Yeah.
Right.
But
no, I've never, purposefully.
Right. Hey, I started
seeds.
accidentally making them myself. That's how I liked them. I grew my accidents, and they were awesome.
Hey, all the great breeders today, that's how they did it, right? They had some heat problems, some light leaks, some
I never seeded out a room.
Genetics. Me neither.
Yeah. That's got to be tough, though.
Yeah. No. I know, that's the thing about seeds, man. You can try to make them, and you'll get like 1 seed. And then you can not try to make them and just flood it out. And they just hit the ground like rain. When you touch a dry plant, they just
I've never been that lucky.
No, shit.
Regular seeds are easy to make, but feminized, they're
right.
It can be real hard.
Do you just do open pollination? You just do the tube snake boogie and sprinkle your males around the room, or?
Oh, when I do regular seeds, well, it kind of depends on the scenario. If I'm preserving a pure landrace, I'll take all the males and let them pollinate all the females. I will select for absolutely nothing.
Right.
I'll usually do a second round. I take all the select males and then all the select females, and I'll do an open pollination again.
Many mothers, many fathers.
Yeah, well, just...
Okay, of your choosing.
Yeah. The first round is for solely preservation. I pull nothing out. Mutants, Hermes, everything stays in. For the second round, it's just all what I want. And it's usually a variety of different phenotypes and stuff, but I keep it open for that round. And I also do a lot of F1 hybrids, during that round as well. So it's all my select males times X, Y, or Z, whatever I think might be a good hybrid, and that's, I've got tons and tons of that stuff already made. I just don't have the time or space right now to run all that stuff out.
Right.
So I've got a lot of projects in the future and hoping to build somewhere where I can run them out.
So, man, I keep still thinking about these, how strains become in demand. What's the number one strain that you get asked for?
I mean, Old Family Purple's starting to get a really good following.
Oh, great cross.
Anybody can grow out a pack of those.
And get numerous great ones.
Right. It's easy. As far as, let's put it this way, as far as one of my personal favorites, that, not my own or anything, I'll admit I'm a Skittles convert. I love those
really?
stuff. Oh, yeah.
Did you bring me any?
No, but I brought you a little bit of this here Irene.
Oh, Irene.
And Skittles and Irene kind of have a little similar component to them.
Let me see it. Irene and Skittles have a similar component.
Just to the terpene profile, like almost a background something. Maybe a terpene that they both share on the bottom end.
Yes, I smell Ziplockazine.
Ooh, that's the high quality Ziplockazine.
Yeah, on the initial Ziploc, I could smell the Canadian smell, but when you pull it out of the bag,
right,
you get rid of the Canadian smell, and it's pure Americana.
Right. Well, don't judge too hard. This was supposed to be a seed run, and like we talked earlier,
A failed seed run.
Yeah.
Do you put the same amount of like grow technology into a seed operation as you would just a normal flower operation?
Not really.
Do you light it the same? Or?
No, I definitely light them the same. I generally put more nitrogen into a seed run.
Seed run, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally, because you want them buds big and
Yeah, because I'm not worried about the flowers at all. You know, so when you have a seed run that doesn't produce any seed, and there might be, you never know, there might be a seed or two in these.
Oh, dude, I smell a bit of the southeast in there. Hold on.
Well, you know where Irene comes from.
Hot Atlanta, man.
Yeah.
Hot Atlanta, it's probably a sack of Kush that was getting sent from Humboldt over to there.
I think it was from L.A., but yeah.
L.A. Yeah. Totally,
Yeah.
That's what the smart dealers did back in the day. They'd say it was someplace else. I get this from Vermont.
Right.
Vermont Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Irene comes from Rude Boy and his crew over there.
I've kind of followed him, but he made a post about his dog the other day.
Right.
And remember how he used to always write in the third person?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cornbread Ricky grows plants real tall. Cornbread Ricky says.
Right. He's always been a cool character, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I wrote him a little Facebook comment about his dog back like that. It was hysterical.
Yeah.
Old characters. Yeah, I've hooked up with a couple people from the old crew have gotten into the cannabis industry. Several people have gotten in the legal cannabis industry, legal cannabis community throughout the country, Massachusetts and Florida and Arizona and Colorado, throughout Colorado. It's pretty cool to see, man.
It's real cool to see how many
it smells like Kush
of the old forum people have seed companies now.
God, I know. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I know, when it all started out, like those early internet sites, the ones I was a member of, it was like this weed share policy that developed maybe unofficially.
Right.
But at the same time, Seed Bay was developing and seed sales were getting hot. And a lot of those early, people, they were on those sites. And we were just trading seeds back and forth. Like, oh, what seeds you got? Here's what seeds I got. Here's my list. Here's your, baseball cards or something for little kids. It was something really, cool about that, for sure.
It was. I think where it went kind of wrong is I think a lot of, not wrong, but just not as fun, where people just started getting nobody wanted to do the work. So everybody started trading clones instead of seeds.
That's exactly how it went down.
Right.
That's exactly how it went down.
Right.
It also started to become name brand clone. And back then, too, people were searching for those name brands. Back to that hot shit, talking about the hot shit. So, okay.
Right.
So back then, Diesel was just coming online. OG Kush had gotten a name, and it was still like $5,000 a pound.
Yeah.
Right.
And a clone.
Trainwreck. Those were all clones in demand that people would demand. But at the same time, people were hustling and planting new shit, trying to get a name brand one.
Right.
And there was plenty of great things out there that didn't stick. I don't know if you remember that Shipwreck lineage that we had years back ago. Man, some of that shit was great.
Oh, Trainwreck makes awesome hybrids.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That shit was great, man. And then there was that guy Tall Pines. Do you remember that metal haze he had? oh man, great weed, but like that didn't stick, you know, and you're scratching your head. You don't remember a couple of these.
No,
right?
I remember that
one.
I remember that from one of the cups.
Right.
Yeah. I never saw it, well, I might have seen it, but I didn't have much experience with it at all. But I do remember the metal haze and how it was kind of a little bit popular for half a minute. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, I mean, does it have to be like it's a YouTube or, well, like, see, even like YouTube and Instagram, so much of that stuff is manipulatable now. You can like buy into it.
Right.
You know, so like, does it have to be like, somebody have to sing a song about it?
Maybe.
Rap about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You got some rapping promotions going on. You want to spit some rhyme on your shit right now? Spit it. Go, Caleb.
Oh.
Go, Caleb. Go.
I don't rap. No raps for me.
Spit some rhyme. I know you do. I've heard you.
Oh,
I've heard you.
Chip be making stories up now, people.
No. Yeah. I expect to get a little Red Bull in them around the fire.
It's been a long time. I fixed my teeth. No more Red Bull for me.
Yeah, you used to be on that shit. Damn, dude.
Christian Craigster. That's what they used to say at the Chevron.
At the Chevron.
Yeah.
Christian Craigster.
Oh, you getting some more Christian Crank? Yes, Red Bull and Rockstar. Thank you, ma'am.
See you at church on Thursday.
Yup.
This is good weed, man. Tasty. It's a little chlorophyll-y, though. I see what you mean about putting more nitrogen in it.
Right.
Right. I see the green in it, too.
Well, Irene is always, really green. So.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I saw this cross with that Angola tie from Tony.
Okay.
Yeah, recently I can see that look for it.
Oh, he's running some more of those seeds out?
Right. Somebody else did.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah, they were like 12 and 16 week flower time.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember he ran some of those out, and he ran some of the bomb threat Angola ties out.
Dude, I bet the bomb
Back in
threat
the day.
Panama is probably a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I saw some of those too. That 20-week Panama. Heart pounding.
Oh, I like that Panama.
Right.
It's really, it's actually some of the tastiest. I should have brought you some of that. I just pulled some 9-week Panama, that 20-weeker, but I pulled some at 9 weeks. It's just as tasty as it smells.
No, I can see that. Man, for sure. And a lot of I hesitate to call it, long flowering strains are like that. You can pick them way before they're done, and they're still smokable.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like just your one-hit wonder. Yeah.
Hey, shh.
Yeah, shh. Don't tell anybody.
It's not my bedtime yet, yo.
Don't tell anybody. No, I think it went years before we ever smoked out, because it was always before 4:30 in the afternoon or something.
True.
Right.
I'm about as hard a smoker as our boy Elk Slayer.
Oh, yeah. No, I lost contact with him a little bit. You talk to him?
I talk to him probably once every 3 to 6 months, depending on how busy we all are.
Yeah, totally. I sent him a message the other day. It was on 4th of July.
Yeah.
We always had great parties down the Willets Way, 4th of July. Right. Good times, man. Good times. Man, do you have Autoflowers are really exciting to people right now? You got an opinion on that?
I'm not one of the people who talk down on the Autoflowers. They've never been my thing, but I've never even really tried them out or played with them. So, I think they fill a niche in the market. And
great for oil.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Hey, they could be great
for short season.
They could be great for a lot of things. I don't know. I'd like to grow some someday.
Right.
Yeah.
People ask you for strains for specific reason, like indoor or outdoor or light dep or greenhouse or South American.
Right. Yeah, they definitely do. And, I usually try my best to, point them in the right direction. I grew sizably outdoors for quite a few years, and I've been growing indoors since 1994, so I understand most of my plants, how they do, so.
Right, so it's and if people want to talk to you, they go to HumboldtCSI.com or...
Yeah. And, I'm actually going to have a forum on there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's going to be solely a breeding and genetics forum.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope I get invited to the forum. Is there
it's not an
application?
It's not an invitation only, but it's solely breeding and genetics, which is the only forums I ever really hung out on when I was online.
What about CBD and hemp stuff? You got any ideas on that? Are you doing any work with that yet?
Not yet, but I definitely will in the future, just, for fun. And I have this hunch that I might like CBD a lot.
Man, I've been smoking CBD flowers. Right? First time I smoked some really good CBD flower, it's called the Wife. They also call it number 5.
Okay.
They grew it organically. They just prune it in the ground and supplement the ground with fertilizer. Man, it tasted like some of the best outdoor I remember smoking.
I think I've heard of the Wife.
In the late 90s.
Oh, right? I was talking recently to some dude who had the Wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It tasted incredible. And I was blown away. And I started thinking about it. And it's like, well, it's water only. Mm-hmm. Right? These guys are organic. Right? Like, of course it's going to taste great. Mm-hmm. Right. But, man, I mean, I was a convert right then. I was like, oh, man, this is great.
Right.
And man, I get migraines. I've had them my whole life. And one hit off a CBD joint, that shit goes away.
Good deal.
Dude, man, government's trying to keep us down. That's for sure. It's also legal for people to smoke. You still get your cannabinoid fix, because most humans are cannabinoid deficient. You probably are. I can look at your eyes and tell you're cannabinoid deficient.
A little bit.
Yeah, just slightly. Most of America's really deficient. Most of the world's really deficient.
And those CBDs help out?
And those CBDs help out. Cannabinoid's cannabinoid. Right. Totally. Yeah, I think hemp's a really awesome, cool thing going on with cannabis right now. It, as a plant person, it grows differently. The plants look different, and I'm starting to see the genetic classification of, wide leaf drug varieties and thin leaf hemp varieties. Right. Now I start to see it. Right. But the hemp is, the leaves are definitely thinner. The buds are wispier. Right. And predominantly, like in Colorado, there's, this R4 style cutting, which would be like a Pakistani or an Afghan style growth pattern.
Okay.
Right. Knee-high max plant. Maybe you got a waist-high plant or something, but they're small plants. Right. They're wispy. Right. They don't really get like rock hard nuggets. Right. And then there's some stretchers like the Wife and cherry wine and Auto 2. Those are all get bigger and stretch.
I've heard of those ones as well.
Yeah. It's all starting to happen over there, man. And I think people are going to be smoking hemp all over the country. Right. Soon. It's totally legal in most places.
Just for their CBDs.
And it tastes great, man. You know how great ganja is? Like this, this joint we got right here, this Irene joint. It should taste great, man.
Right.
It's not so much necessarily about getting high. And as much as I love weed, right, I probably could do without being so high.
Right.
And this is something we've talked about in the past. The whole like Betsy, DOG, thing. Like it tastes good. Right. It's good for middle America. Right. Like people who just like to smoke joints that taste great and not get like just super lit. Right. It's great.
Working man weed.
And,
hell yeah.
Man, I'm going to admit, dude, that I'm getting a little older. Right. And I might not can smoke as much weed as I used to.
Uh-oh.
Right. I know. Totally. So I've had to cut it back to 10, medium-sized splits a day.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. But the CBD is good, man. I'm kind of on it. I need to replenish my sack when I get back there. If there's anybody out there with some great tasting CBD hemp, just give me a call or drop me a PM or a DM anytime. Smoke me out. I'm in Colorado frequently. I'm in, Humboldt the rest of the time. This HumboldtCSI.com, this is a new website. You've just launched this. Right,
Yes.
and this is your novelty sales websites where you can buy all kinds of things, hats, T-shirts, and other stuff that you may produce.
That's right.
Have you done any digital sales or digital marketing or anything like that in the past?
Not
right.
too much, exclusively through distributors.
Right. And you I mean, your Instagram is huge. You got 100,000 plus followers these days, right? Mm-hmm. I got my measly, like, little 10,000 followers or something.
Quality over quantity.
Oh, I say. Right. Oh, man, I see your comments, man. You've got some pretty good quality people, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
And it exploded, too. Your Instagram exploded. And, like, it was kind of big. I remember talking to you. I was like, man, you got like 15,000 people, man.
Right.
How do I get people to listen to my shit?
Right. I do remember that.
Right. You're like, I don't know.
I didn't try to get followers.
Right. Yeah.
It seems like they're all leaving now, though, so, I'm not too worried about it.
Were they fake followers?
Oh, probably.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
had some fake followers.
I think everybody does, but yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. And my wife, she's mentioned recently that she had some followers starting to leave, and she didn't understand that. And I was like, that's probably
Right.
Facebook. I heard Facebook and Instagram were cleaning up fake accounts.
Right. I think that's what it might be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Well, mine hadn't decreased. I hope. Oh, you're out. One done. Mine hadn't decreased. And I guess that's good. I'm not like motivated by that number. I'm really stoked that I got 10,000 people that say, I think it's like 12 right now, but that say that they're interested in weed the way I'm interested in it, and ganja the way I'm interested in it.
Right.
And people ask me all the time why I started it, and we've been friends a long time, and I mean, you've heard me like gab on about weed, so you like probably know why I started it, but I really just wanted to elevate the conversation. Right, and have better conversations like the ones that, me and you and Elkie would have on the ridge.
Oh, yeah.
Right, or, the ones we may have had on the phone or on internet conversations.
My favorite conversations up on the ridge were always Elkie and Tom Hill.
Oh, my God.
Those are good conversations.
Them and Deemster Dave, they would get lit and start talking total trash, man. God. Oh, Tom, man. Yeah,
he's as MIA as Elk.
He's even more so.
Very true.
I think even more so. I see his genetics floating around all the time, crosses of stuff, and people asking about stuff, and like, I got the monkey balls, or
Nobody
I got
called
the
it
Hindu death cabbage. He had like a pheno he called monkey balls. Right. Right. And a death cabbage pheno.
The Hindu death cabbage was my favorite.
Yeah, that's a great name. Hindu death cabbage.
That one should have stuck over Deep Chunk, but Deep Chunk's cool too.
Deep Chunk's totally not cool.
No?
Not like Hindu death cabbage.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, we could have a whole comic book series on Hindu death cabbage.
Ooh. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
So history here, many of you might not know that Nspecta is actually an artist. He's a soft soul.
Whoa.
Right.
No, I was a hardcore artist.
Hardcore
Very
artist. Graphic novels, in fact.
No graphic illustrations.
Graphic illustrations, yes. Okay, of novels. Of graphic novels, mostly pornography.
Well, no. Comics for the kids, not grown folk.
But man, like, did you dream about doing that, like, growing up? Was that your dream job?
The comics or the weed?
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Which came first? Well, let's back up. So that was like your first job.
Right.
Yeah. 18, 19, 20?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you went to Southern California to like pursue a career in illustration.
Yeah, and then I worked for all the major companies, Marvel, DC, et cetera, et cetera.
Stole everything you could from them, pens, lighters. Rulers.
I got a lot of rulers. Yeah.
Spider-Man #1.
Ooh, that would have been sweet.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I came to a point in about 2000 where I had to decide grow weed or do comics because I was going to fail both if I didn't quit one of them. And so, no more comics for me.
Man, this Pirates of the Emerald Triangle, this came from a comic book idea, so it stuck from you. Let's chat about that for a second.
I just always, loved where I grew up.
The Emerald Triangle is a reference here.
Yeah, the Emerald Triangle. And me and my buddies, we were a bunch of pirates getting into all kinds of hoodlum shit back then.
God,
so,
that's true, huh?
You know, I mean, pirates, I think I had that idea back around 96 or something. Always wanted to do the comic book, but decided a seed company would be all right, too.
They're both labors of love, that's for sure. They both only cost like a little bit of a few dollars each.
Right?
It's kind of like selling eighths, man. It's just hard, dude. Like, people talk about, like, oh, man, the money's in the seeds. You can make $1 million in seeds. But you got to sell those bitches one at a time. One at a time.
Yep. Ooh, that reminds me of my newest company, my third seed company. Bolt for $1.
I've heard incarnations of this over the years. So let's hear this current pitch. This is like, go ahead, current pitch.
I just have a bunch of seeds that, you know.
You don't know what they are.
No, well, there's some of them like that. I was even thinking about using some of those for this.
Grab bags.
Yeah. I mean, Sensei Seeds did it, you know. Sensei's outdoor mix. That just means the seeds that fell on the floor and they didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
That's what an outdoor mix is. Because with an outdoor mix, you're not going to have the herm problems. So, you know, you won't know.
And you don't pay for the power or anything either.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah. Mixes could be
fun. So $1 seeds, and you buy them by the seed?
Well, I was thinking probably like 20 seeds at a time.
I kind of like this one, like $1 seeds.
Oh, that'd get rough, though.
Well, then you just say something like...
minimum order, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, 9-seed minimum or 6-seed minimum or something.
Okay.
You know, or you could figure out something, but yeah, totally.
That way people could get one of each.
Somebody
I like that.
You got 32 strains, I want one of each.
You're not going to try to tax me for this idea later, are you?
No, you can have this one free. Everything in this episode is for free.
Nice.
Right, totally.
Didn't we mention Do-si-do earlier?
We did mention Do-si-do earlier. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'd love some Do-si-do. Did you not bring any? Yeah, you brought the Irene. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Man, back in the day, you'd like show up with like a duffel bag full of weed.
Oh, no, it's drying on the line right now.
Yeah.
I would have. If you're at the Indo Expo in a couple weeks, I'll have like 7 different samples.
So, man, now there's like all kinds of ganja related trade shows, right? Like it's kind of cool.
If you like going to them all the time.
Yeah, no doubt. How many? Can you name off some?
I don't even want to. I think I like the Emerald Cup the best.
Oh, Emerald Cup is the shit, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna give you a little promotion here. I don't know how it's gonna be this year because the same people that bought Chalice bought Emerald Cup, or it's the Emerald Cup has sold. New people are running it. There's new laws and shit. Some of all of that's going on right now. Right. So I don't know if it's going to be the free for all that it used to be in the past.
Oh, it won't be.
But like it can't be, I don't think. But man, it used to be a free for all at the Emerald Cup. It was incredible. I mean, you could in the 215 area, you could see as much weed or hash or seeds or clones and buy as many clones or seeds or hash or weed that you wanted. It was pretty crazy. It was like a weed supermarket.
Right. That's a gray market matters. Good old 215.
It's just private sales between friends, man.
That's right. Very true.
Right. I promote this private market term. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this, but private, it's between friends.
Well, my second favorite
public thing.
My second favorite show or type of shows was always the little tiny farmers markets. Yeah, those were actually a lot of fun. It would be kind of sweet if they were able to do a farmers market style thing, locally in Humboldt.
Yeah, they were doing those Mendocino.
Oh, I know.
Right.
I did tons of the Mendo ones.
Oh, right, because you have a license to do this type of thing. That's your cannabis license.
Yeah.
Right. But
Humboldt's
not having one this year.
Yeah, Humboldt won't even let me use it. So.
Yeah, man. People think it's legal and the people think we won, but like the man's fighting back big time, dude. And they are totally writing laws that are going to push out, the little guy. Like this early stage is going to be the only time the little guy can get involved.
Right.
Like from here on out, like the little guy, that's over with, dude. You got what you got, and that's it, man.
I think I'm going to start growing pumpkins.
Good call.
Giant pumpkins. Yeah. There's big money in that. Or used to be anyway.
I mean, I like the idea of like air cannons, pneumatic cannons, and pumpkins.
That would be fun. You gonna have the cannon up here and we can shoot off the deck?
Dude, that would be fun, wouldn't it? I kind of want
to even barely make a mess.
I'd want a Civil War type cannon up here, like a mortar or something, but I don't know. The neighbors kind of complain about how loud I am sometimes, so I try to be a good neighbor, but
it's tough.
I'm just a total redneck at heart. I mean, if you're listening to me and you're my neighbor and I've been a little loud, I'm sorry. It's just my nature. No offense to you, but
Speaking of your neighbors, I originally got snow from the dude at the end of your road, the first house on the right.
No way.
In 1999.
Wow. God, dude.
Every time I come up here, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. That's where we got snow.
And when I first came up here, West Haven and Trinidad was a hotbed for indoor growing.
Right.
It was, I don't know why, but it was like one of the places that...
It's a good area for it.
It's cool. Right? It's always cool. It's never hot. I mean, I don't know what today is, July 19th or 20th. We're sitting outside at the Real Dirt Studios, the Molecule Studios in Humboldt. That's what we call this place. Normally we sit inside in the studio, but it was so nice. We decided to sit out and have a romantic sunset here together. Listen to the birds chirp.
You're getting a little too redneck on me, Chip.
I love you, man. I love you, man. So what's your favorite shit growing right now?
Growing? That I'm growing, or?
Oh, anything.
Some of my favorites are, this is a little embarrassing, of course, but I definitely like Skittles.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Okay, all right. So I'm not hip on that new shit, but Skittles is one of there's the coonhound in the background. Who knows what she's after? We've had a bit of a bear problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, totally.
And I got meat in my car.
Well, that's totally the dog right there. Let her run the bear off. She needs to.
Right. I also like forbidden fruit.
I don't know forbidden fruit.
If you haven't had forbidden fruit, you spend too much time in Colorado, don't you?
I do. I haven't been getting the West Coast genetics, dude. I'm telling you, it's been nothing but Durban poison and.
I do like Durban poison.
Right. It's the Cincy skunk though. It's skunk.
That's what I think it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's not the licorice. Actual Durban poison.
It seems like skunk times Durban, but
it's a Cincy Durban. Is what it is.
It tests at like 4 or 5% terpinolene.
Oh wow.
That's why it wins cups and everybody loves it. But I just made a Girl Scout cookie hybrid with the cut, and they all came out Durban, no Hermes whatsoever. And I mean, the smell on them is just all different variations of just pure Durban on bigger, stout. I mean, it blows the Durban cut away.
Wow, that's good, man.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's not particularly one of my favorites, but I see the excitement in your eyes. And
right. Lots of people like the Durban, but lots of people don't like terpinolene.
Right.
So they don't like Durban.
What's licoriceline? What do you call that? Do you know?
Oh, I don't even know what you call licoriceline.
Right.
But Mendo Purple has a nice percentage of the S1s that are strong black licorice. So
what's going on, girl?
Bow wow wow.
Are you protecting us against the bears? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, it's interesting how people talk about it in terpene profiles now. It's great, man. 15 years ago, people like, terpenes? You make that word up.
Right.
Right? Let me go look at my dictionary.
Right.
It was all pre-Google.
I know, right?
Here's the encyclopedia.
My favorite three are terpinolene, pinene, and limonene.
Yeah, limonene. Yeah, myrcene. I'm a myrcene fan.
I don't know. You know the ChemDog 1? That thing's like between 4 and 5% pure myrcene too.
Uh-oh.
What?
The hair standing up on the back of the dog's neck. Definitely,
a critter.
Definitely a critter of some sort. You know, that's the great thing about a coonhound. Coonhound is the perfect watchdog.
Right.
Because they only talk shit when something's going down.
Right. And they're mellow.
Otherwise, they just like chill.
Yeah.
Right. But if something's going down or something could go down, they're on it.
That's my kind of dog. I like chill dogs.
Now, they might not do much unless you have a pack. If you got a pack of coonhounds,
no.
Like vicious.
Yeah, I don't want one to do much, so I like a mellow dog.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just like let me know when somebody's coming up the driveway.
Right. No false alarms neither.
Oh yeah. We had one that we had trained to bay at helicopters. Floyd, you remember Floyd?
Yeah, Floyd.
God rest his soul. Old Floyd. So, man, give me your genetic predictions, dude. Like, we've talked about, like, how strains become hot. We talked a little bit about some West Coast strains. You know, Skittles and Forbidden Fruit, right? And I'm not surprised to hear you say those names. You've always been a little more on the fruity taste.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Right. I didn't mean that how it came out, man. I'm more of an earthy, like tobacco-y type of person.
I like variety.
Yeah, I like variety too. Yeah.
I like stuff like Irene, Chem Dog, you know.
Oh man, I love me some Chem Dog.
The only thing I'm not a big fan on is spice. I'm not a huge spicy fan. But I do like the fruit flavors. And the like, you know, I guess some people call them earthy, but would you say pine or...
Yeah, I think that falls in earth.
Right. So I think a lot of people refer to that as earthy, and I never think of that as... So maybe I do like earthy, too. Maybe that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, pine, I think... I mean, I don't have my terpene chart on me.
Right.
But...
Pinene A and B.
Yeah, but if but I think it's someplace on the chart. And earthy there's other things on the chart that are also described as earthy.
Right.
Wow, that's great random general statement.
One of those things that's real similar to earthy is dirt. Oh, yeah.
Imagine that.
Right.
Dude. Totally dirt guy over here. Just can't seem to get away from it. Just fired up my new dirt plant.
Dang.
Yeah, totally. Have we caught up on it?
I don't think we have.
Man, just fired up my new dirt plant. I've been working on it for a while.
Nice.
It's called Growers. Pretty much only available in Colorado right now.
Right.
As of July 19th, 2018.
Damn.
But it's exciting.
Fresh.
It's fresh.
Right.
Like, we've just sold our first truckloads. We're starting selling our first truckloads.
Nice.
It's a inert style, soilless medium, cocoa fiber, perlite, and peat.
A classic.
Classic, simple, lime and calcium nitrate. But man, I've always been for years I was a cocoa purist, but like, man, I'm also a realist, and I just saw like how much the peat improved the quality of the cocoa, and all the problems of the cocoa went away when you blend a little bit of peat in there.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to like control your moisture more, you got to control your pH in a different manner, you got to control your calcium differently, so it's a cocoa blend, it's mostly cocoa, but it has pH in it that balances out the calcium and dries it out a little bit. And then perlite, so it acts like a 70-30 style blend, right? Maybe it might hold a little bit more moisture.
Right.
But man, it's great, dude. Just a micronutrient charge. So like when you put your plants in it, they take off immediately. You can feed it with anything you want to feed it with.
Nice.
So you can customize. You don't have to customize your nutrient
to
it. If you're a cocoa grower, it's a perfect transition switch. If you're using other products like Tupper or Promix or making your own cocoa perlite blend, it's great for that. We're calling it the grower soil and this grower's high porosity mix. And then also, of course, have a straight cocoa.
Oh, yeah.
Too, because I am a cocoa guy, and I do love cocoa and see how the coconuts fall to the ground every day, and it's a sustainable resource and sustainable resource. And we got some other stuff planned too. But man, we're making it out in the dry plains of eastern Colorado.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all indoors. right? We can control all the moisture level, all the raw materials are indoors. Man, you look outside and it's like desert. Nothing's growing out there, right? That's not true. There's a whole ecosystem, but like we're really able to control it. There's no like with the system we put together, there's no like runoff or wastewater that created like problems. You know, there's almost zero dust, but everything's stored inside. Right. You know, the raw materials, it's all manufactured in one day and then packaged up in pallets that one day.
Right. All blended real consistently.
It's all blended consistently. It's all these great raw materials that I picked and that blend easily, really well. Right. We also have like an organic nutrient packet that you can blend into it and then just add water.
Nice.
Right.
That's actually a really good idea, too.
And it keeps the bugs away from the organic, and you actually get to put everything. Right. Because the problem with soil is this, listeners, is that you can't really put enough nutrients in a packaged soil for it to stay in a package for a long period of time and get shipped around the country.
Because nitrogen is volatile.
Right. God damn it.
Right.
You're right. And also, the bigger problem, though, is shit goes anaerobic. It gets wet, and you got the organic ingredients under pressure because of the pallet, right? And you'll get this urine smell that comes out of it. So we have an organic packet that you can mix into the soil, so you can just add water.
Right.
We designed it for cannabis. Right. It's all organic.
When you get nationwide distribution, I'll have to try me some.
Dude, you know I got nationwide distribution soon for you.
Sounds like a FedEx package to me.
Yeah, no. What do you use? What soil do you use?
I use a peat cocoa blend.
Like black gold stuff or
like it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you make it or whatever you can get.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean,
have you ever tried the Premier product, that cocoa peat perlite blend?
Oh, like
they make one that might be something you'd be interested in using.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a Bales product.
It's the same maker of ProMix. Oh.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
it's good. They're great people. That's a good product.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I just
see most other like soil people wouldn't be saying that kind of stuff.
All right,
I give it up, dude. Like Canna's got great cocoa, and ProMix has great soilless peat perlite blends. Like man,
I always liked them back in the day.
Crush it.
I actually used some ProMix just a couple runs back, but
a bale,
a couple bales, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a truckload of bales, right?
Yeah, a bale.
Right.
No, it was a test, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it did good on some levels, but my feeding wasn't okay. I don't feed, so I couldn't keep up with the feed on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
we kind of started talking about genetic predictions, but then drifted. So I want to get some specific answers from you. I want some genetic predictions over what's going to happen in the future, and tell me the hot shit.
That is going to be a tough one. I think I know what it is.
Okay.
I think there's going to be some interest in land race, pure, true F1 hybrids.
I think you're right, too. Everybody wants to get by Colombian and Panamanian and Thai and Afghan and Pakistan.
Everything's so polyhybrided out, super polyhybrided out. I think people are going to get back into some of these old ones and realize, oh, snap, we haven't had those flavors in 30, 40 years.
I've been smoking a great Pakistani, man, and that stuff was all bred for hashish, right? And when you make hash from it or extract or keef, like it does make an incredibly flavorful stuff, but it's of a different terpene profile for sure. It tastes great, man. It's different though. It is of that earthy, taste.
Oh yeah,
right. And it looks different too. There needs to be more education on the ganja world. I had a party recently. We called it the Cultivate Showdown. Right, we invited everybody to show up with their best weed, and we talk shit about the weed. It was fun. Some people got their feelings hurt. I'm sorry they got their feelings hurt. I'm gonna have them apologizing and losing customers for that one for a minute.
Honesty hurts sometimes.
Sometimes it might not come out right. Right. But if you think you got great weed, then you don't. Mostly. The people who always have the great weed, they say something like this. Oh man, this nugget didn't really turn out so well. Here, I got this little nugget. And, you know, you're like, God damn, that is right. So, return to land race. We're going to see some land race. I can see that. What about do you think we'll see like long season strains come in? Like, you know, I was just in Europe and you could go get 22-week Dr. Grinspoon, super bomb, by the way. It was just calyx on a stick though.
You think people might start growing those in like SoCal and the southern states?
Or in greenhouses here even. Pulling it in November, December, right? But yeah, like you could grow it like outdoors even. Like it'd be great weed to smoke.
It would be a killer niche market, and not a whole lot of people are going to want to do it like that.
You know, and also with those longer season strains down there, you'd plant them like August.
Oh yeah.
You can do your there you go. You do your autoflower run.
Right.
Here's big tip from Chip. You do your autoflower run, and you pull that in July and August, and then you plant your long season plants like Panamanians or Colombians or Thais or Angolan crosses or any Charlie Garcia stuff. Pull in December.
Have you ever like grown out some of these just pure sativas that take like 24 weeks?
Like the Panama Charlie Garcia.
Even longer than that. And
just, you know, well, man, even at 20 weeks, it wasn't really ready, but it was like, oh, there's 20 weeks.
Have you seen those ones that don't even start flowering under like an 11-13 schedule for six weeks?
True equatorial strains.
11-13, and they don't start flowering for 6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's a beauty to all those stretchers, man, because you can put in like a 3-inch tall plant of one of those, and it will turn out to a 5-foot monster. And I think that's a great genetic. Here's another tip from Chip: a great genetic manipulation. If somebody could take like a 5-week stretcher, like from like Neville's Hayes does, or Thai Angola does, or Panama does, or any of that stuff, right, and then finish it in 8 weeks. Put big buds on it while it went. Right. Like that would be pretty amazing. Right. Or even if it was 10 weeks.
Well,
you know, that you could flip it from just like a seedling, basically.
You know, have you seen that Big Sur holy weed cut?
Oh yeah, totally.
That goes around.
Another example. I know that one well.
That thing's a beast. I mean, it's a huge stretcher, but it's strong. It's exactly kind of what you're talking about, I think. It's just a strong plant, but every single thing it crosses to gets that beastiness from it. I mean, it's making some sweet plants.
That's great weed.
I'm trying to cross it to Triangle Kush right now, you know, Fem style. And I bet those plants...
Fem style!
That's right.
Watch out.
Kung Fu on the skeeters.
I know, you're like just... Oh, you totally got it.
Easy there.
So there's a couple. I'm gonna also go this. I'm gonna say that the market's gonna continue to go fruity.
Right.
It's the witching hour.
I know, right?
I know. I've never seen, you know, like mosquitoes out here, dude.
Oh, they're attracted to sweet meat.
As he rolls, this sweet meat rolls up his sleeves to
right.
the deadly Humboldt mosquito.
Ooh, how about my latest hot strain, Living Dead Girl.
Oh,
yeah.
Living Dead Girl.
Yeah.
And what's that blend?
Patient Zero times Girl Scout cookies.
And Patient Zero, what's that?
Purple Urkel crossed to Pakistani Purple Kush.
I love it. I've always appreciated your naming technique. Do you have a naming book?
Well, no.
Well,
you know. I mean, I have.
You sit around with your friends and just talk shit. And you're like, oh, that's a good one. Fucking
no.
See, dead girl living. What was it? Living dead. What was it?
I hold contests on Instagram. Name the strain contests. And so we'll have, 500 to 1,000 people, suggest names. And I mean, it's a blast going through them, but there's so many good ones. And then it's almost as much work as just trying to name them yourself, because, you end up with, 20 or 30 favorites, and you're like, well, here I am. But usually I've noticed since I started doing this that all my names have gotten way better. Like my early names, they sucked. But
what was a bad early name?
Babu.
I remember Babu.
Katsu Bubba times the original Bubba. Babu.
What's your favorite name?
I like Patient Zero.
Patient Zero is a good name.
It's a good starting name. But that kind of stems back to my work in comic books, and they always loved using zero this or X that for everything. So yeah, it's like a before the first one. Think about it, Zero.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate your predictions, and it's been a lovely evening. The sun is setting over the western sky here in Humboldt, and it's the mosquitoes are coming out
in full force.
Yeah, I think it might be time to say goodbye to our listeners. And it's yet been another excellent episode of The Real Dirt. Been so glad to have you, Mr. Inspector, show up.
Thank you.
We've been trying to work it out for a while. Thank you for coming.
Right.
One day when we can think about something else to talk about, we'll do another episode.
You should, if you don't already, you should actually maybe start having like small powwows and have like 4 or 5 of the old homies all together. You'll get some real dirt.
We'll call it glory days.
Yeah, you'll get some real dirt doing that.
Yeah, no, that's a good real. All right, here's a great suggestion. All right, so let's see who would be on that. Like, who would be the great shit talkers on that one? Right.
I hate to say, but I wouldn't mind doing a real dirt with Elk Slayer and Kendo, because I remember NCGA's parties back in the day.
Yeah, totally.
Our first one with Elk and Kendo and I running around talking shit to everybody, including Jason King.
Oh, God, Jason Queen.
Oh, don't be so hard on the kid.
Oh, he's just sensitive.
Okay.
Right? He's just sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like those forum type episodes. That would be something fun to have. Mm-hmm. I wish there was I wonder if there's a record of all the shit we used to say on that. Mm. I can't remember anybody's names back then, but
I can't remember their real names. I remember their handles.
That's funny. Now that we're all are out. Mm-hmm. Nobody's hiding anymore.
Right.
The
names are going to get boring again.
Yeah, I know. Like Chip Baker.
Right.
Totally. We should have a reunion show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great idea.
Right.
Well, thanks again.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you coming.
Good to be here.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to more seeds from you in the future. Mm-hmm. Keep it coming.
Will do.
Hey, thanks for joining me on today's Real Dirt. Today was a real special episode. You got to really see what a conversation between me and a friend of mine might have been like on the phone several years ago when I had the idea to start this podcast. I was having these incredible conversations with my friends, Caleb being one of them, over what was going on in the industry and genetics and what was going on in our lives. And as I began to read news articles and hear other podcasts about cannabis, it was just like some of it was just so silly and just inaccurate. And man, I love to Cheech and Chong it up. Don't get me wrong. You guys all know that. But I wanted this deep insight into what goes on in the cannabis community. And I think you got that today. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I did. If you really did like this episode and you haven't downloaded or subscribed to us, download this episode and others at therealdirt.com. You can also go to our iTunes account and look up The Real Dirt Podcast. And we are also now on Stitcher. So please subscribe. The Real Dirt Podcast. Thanks once again for joining us. And as always, stay high.